Hi students, this is Dr. Ghanesham Chavan. Welcome back again in another session of Social and Preventive Pharmacy. In this topic, we will discuss regarding the social and cultural factors in health and disease, means how they are affecting on our health and disease. There are n number of social factors which may either worsen the disease condition or they will improve our disease conditions. All peoples have their own beliefs, whether rural or urban. Means they are having their some beliefs, either it will be right or wrong. Some are having some misbelief, some are having some myth regarding the culture, regarding the rituals which they are following. Not all the customs and beliefs are bad. Means some are good also. Whatever traditional values or whatever traditional system we are following, not all the systems are bad. For example, if we are waking early, if we are sleeping early, it is a good trade or good system which we are following. Or in the Jain system, we are taking food just before the sun set, or we are taking the food at the time when we are in the morning at 9 o'clock. So like that, some systems are very good for us. Some cultures are useful and some cultures are useless. Out of them, some cultures are very good, and if you see, some cultures are useless. For example, uh, in early years there was a tradition, if the husband will die, so the wife will go along with him. Means she had to sacrifice herself, she had to burn herself. If suppose, if husband won't eat anything, so in the whole family nobody will eat. If some person will die from your family, so the whole family won't eat for few days. So it was the culture which has been followed. Another culture, for example, if somebody is having snake bite, so you don't have to take medicine, you have to go for certain person or certain ritual persons who is having ability to take down that typical snake venom from the person by the various mantras and various mythological ways he is trying to do that. So it is very useless. When there is change in the behavior, people shows resistance to these new behaviors. So people are hesitating to accept the new behaviors. For example, in early days we were practicing the ballot papers for election, and nowadays we are practicing the that EVM machine. In early days we are hesitating to go towards doctors because they are giving injections. Nowadays it's very common to go. In early days, if you will see, the people are not aware regarding their health, regarding their social behavior, regarding their cultural hygiene. So nowadays everybody is having that much precautions now they are taking. There are various cultures that influence the health and disease in India. There are n number of cultures in India, they are affecting on your disease. Concepts of etiology and cure. As etiology states that each and every disease is having their cause. So it is a branch of pharmacology which deals with the find out the cause of the disease. Because whatever disease it is persisting in the era, we have to find out its reason. That's why the nowadays it is having the disease. For example, COVID-19. Now the researchers have invested lots of money in etiology, and finally they got, no, it is not completely and 100% proof that that typical virus has been born from the bats or from the snakes. It is only assumed, but we have to find out what is the behind that, either it is bacteria or virus, which strength of bacteria or virus it is behind that, how it has been developed, that we have to find out. and due to which cause it has been spread, what is the way of communication, what is the way of spreading, that we need to be find out. The causes of disease understood by rural people are categorized as follows. The causes of disease: one is supernatural cause, and that cause is very very strange, and it has been accepted from last so many years, means from our so many generations they are following this supernatural cause. And second is physical cause, it is a normal cause. Now we will go for the supernatural cause. In that first is, please give your attention towards the words and the things which I am telling to you. This topic and this subject is very very good for the social awareness as well. So that's our responsibility, not only of mine but also yourself, to decrease the various myths, and also to try to improve people, improve their thinking, and try to uh, incorporate the incorporate the pharmacy or the actual knowledge to eradicate the various myths and to eradicate the various bad cultures which has been practiced from last so many years. So in that first is wrath of gods. So what is wrath of gods? Means wrath of gods is nothing but the when the god is giving punishment to you, when is god is not having in good mood and he is thinking to give punishment. In that case you will suffer from the chicken pox. Means you won't suffer from the chicken pox virus, so you suffer from the wrath of gods. And due to which also the various another diseases like HIV or another disease like cancer, somebody is having mouth cancer or somebody having blood cancer, so it is the wrath of gods. Means god is against you, you have done something wrong, so god is taking the action against you. Next is breach of taboo. What is taboo? Taboo is nothing but the when the society is prevailing or is deciding any tab line, and when you are crossing that line. So if society have prepared any social culture, and when you are crossing that line, when you are crossing that culture, so it is nothing but the social taboo. So when you are breaking that social taboo, so it develops some disease. So that myth has been developed from last so many years, from so many generations. For example, STD occurs due to the sexual intercourse with the lower caste. So it is very very bad thinking, it has been occurred from last so many years. And another taboo, for example, if any female is having the periods, menstrual cycle, so that female cannot go into the kitchen, means she cannot prepare the food for her father-in-law or mother-in-law, means she is doing some thing if she will do that. So that is nothing but the just disgusting things, it is a taboo. So why we are doing such things, though we are illiterate but we are doing such things, so it's just unacceptable. Another next third class thing is past sins. Means whatever sin we are done in the past, means in the last whatever was in the last whatever sins I have done, so due to that I am suffering from tuberculosis or leprosy. Means in the past life whatever things, we don't know what we have done in past life or what was we in the past life, nobody saw that. So how can we say that in past life what I have done or what sin I have done, and due to which the tuberculosis or leprosy has been occurred? Means it doesn't occur due to the bacteria or due to the viruses, it occurs due to the past sins, and which is just ridiculous. how can somebody can think in that way? So that the things. So tuberculosis and leprosy, and also lots of other diseases like cancers, and also various STD diseases, or the disease of derms, means skin disease. It also occurs due to this sin which occurs in the past. Or somebody, if some person will die, if some person die after the marriage, means he had done something wrong, means some Narayan Nagbali, that typical puja not has been done after the marriage, due to that person had died due to the accident, or some mangalik is there, and due to that mangalik, that person had done the marriage, but he didn't done any mahapuja, mahakund, and due to which person have died in between. So that is the things it can cause. Next is evil eye, the amulet and the incantations received by the exorcist. So it is also different thing. So we will think that this person is the evil, and he is having evil eye, and due to which we may suffer from any disease, or we may have any bad things will happen in our home. So that type of thinking can be developed. Next is spirit or ghost intrusion. So hysteria or epilepsy, means removal of our uterus will be occurs due to that ghost, or epilepsy, or service of exorcist will occur. So these are the various myths which can be developed. Or epilepsy will occur, means persons are become the epileptic not due to the seizures, not due to the firing of that neurons, not due to the problem into the neurons, but it occurred due to the spirit or ghost institution, means in your body some supernatural power has been entered, and due to this something wrong happened with you. So that type of thinking is there. Still it is there, the people who are literate, still they are thinking in the same way. Here you can see, these are the examples that I have put here, that you can understand that these are the babas, sadhus here, in which it is a condition when the schizophrenia like condition will occur, or multiple disorders, multiple personality syndrome, or split personality syndrome. And here when some tantras, mantras, the kala jadus people are doing. And here also, suppose if any that mata or any goddess or any god will reach or enter into your soul, so this is the traditional. So due to the rituals they are doing these things. Some people are just let down their head on the roads and they are going toward the temple. Some people are just removing the hairs so to the Balaji, and some are only squeezing the hairs from the scalp. So like that various myths are there, they are following the various myths. And some supernatural powers has been entered into your life, and due to which you don't have money, or you have lots of disease in your family, or 2-3 generations has been caused disease, or there has been died due to this. They have occurred the accidents, and due to which your generation is going to be damaged, or they will reduce. So in this type of thinking has been developed. Physical cause, so the effect of weather. So it is me summer heat causes the heat strokes, so dehydration will occur into the summer days. Water, impure water causes the disease. So nowadays the lots of people are taking the filter water, but if you will see from last so many decades, nobody is concentrating, nobody is giving attention towards the water what they are taking. Nowadays people are starting to do that, because if you won't take that filter water, you may suffer from the various bacterial or viral infections. Even the various electrolytes will going to be deposited into your kidney, and they will form the kidney stone. Nowadays it's very common to develop kidney stone. Impure blood, it causes boils and the scabies. So that impure blood, for example, boils are nothing but the bumps which has been developed on your skin from the lower skin, means from the dermis layer it has been developed, and it occurs due to the pus formation into your hair follicles. It develops the folliculitis, and due to which the bumps formation occurs of your skin, and it occurs due to the impure blood. And next is scabies. It occurs due to the mite has been buried in your skin, through your skin. And mostly if your the skin is very moist, so it can spoil your skin very badly, and it can easily transfer from one person to the another person when you are hugging or when you are shaking hand with the others. So it can be transferred very easily. So this scabs is also very dangerous. It requires almost 1 year or more than 3-4 years to completely cure from that disease. Environmental sanitation. So nowadays we are giving somewhat attention toward the environmental sanitation. Otherwise, every person is having habit to only maintain hygiene only at his home, not around the area, not in the environmental area. Now here, disposal of human excreta. Still in rural areas, uses open field for defecation. It is considered harmless. So it is a myth from the rural people. The villager think that latrine is for city dwellers. There are no open field, means to do the defecation in the open field is the good thing, and the people from the colonies or the city area, they don't have open field. That's why they are doing that defecation, they are doing that excretion into the typical latrine. Means that sanitation also we have to teach the peoples. That's why our government, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi have developed the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and he have given the lots of subsidies to develop the latrines, to develop the toilets in all over the India. And also the movie has been movie has been prepared on that, but still people are not thinking in that way. Here these pollutants, water and soil, promotes fly breeding, and these flies are responsible for transfer of the disease from the one place to the another place. Even they can damage your soil as well as your crops. On the crops also, that typical bacteria viruses can be spread. It's a habit because of the ignorance of the people. Even if you see through this Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, whatever the toilets has been prepared by the government, they are not utilized as a toilet. They are utilized as a bathroom. They are utilized to wash the cloths or to wash the plates, to wash the various groceries, like that they are using. I saw that in actual. So why people are not taking it seriously, I can't understand. Disposal of waste. The village people is unaware of wastewater collections. Still they are not able to manage the wastewater collection, how to drain into one drainage system, how to maintain, how we should clean our nearby area, because it will give rise to the bacteria, it will give rise to the viruses, it will give rise to the mosquitoes, parasites, protozoas, so fleas, various things can be developed due to these things. So it causes the mosquito breeding, it giving the platform for the mosquito breeding. And the wastewater is also allowed to flow the street, because they won't think regarding the street. Street is the way to flow your garbage, to throw your garbage, to flow your waste water or drainage water into your street. Means street is not for walking, street is to throw waste material into that street. The solid waste is thrown in front of the house and allowed accumulate and decompose, and various pathogens will develop from that. and they will come into your home to develop the diseases. The animal dung is allowed to accumulate and sun dried as cakes and used as a fuels. From the last so many years, the animal dungs of cow or the buffaloes, they have been collected and they are dried and they used for as a fuel. But I don't think that collection of that cow dung or that typical dung can give rise to the development of the bacteria or viruses. It becomes unhygienic, and also lots of smell can be arise from that dung. Now, water supply. The well in the village plays a pivotal role into the village. It's used for the bathing, washing, ambulation, and it's under for drinking to cause pollutions. Most rivers in India is considered holy, where every people takes a sacred bath. Means it is a bath which give you a feeling of heaven and pollute it by throwing the waste. Now in India, if you will see the rivers, these rivers are called as a goddess, and the water in the river are called as a sacred water. Means they are very pure, and when you are taking a bath into that water, that holy water, so the lots of sin which you are done can be washed out. Means do the wrong things and go into that holy water and just wash out your sins. So it is a malpractice has been done from last so many years. And when you are washing your bodies, that good water, that sacred water, that pure water can be changed into the bad water, can be changed into the polluted water. Means you are spreading by throwing all these materials into the river. You are throwing lots of garbages, lots of the waste material into the river. So it is bad practice we are doing. When we are thinking these rivers are our goddesses, they are respectable for us, so why we are throwing that garbages into that? And after that the government is running the program like Namo Gange program, and after that they are trying to wash that areas. But why people are not thinking in that fashion, in that way? So here even they put the dead bodies, here you can see the dead bodies. So why they put their dead bodies into the river? Because it will going to be degraded into the river, and the whole water can be affected, can be degraded, can be polluted, and whatever the various fish, various animals into this water, they can also get affected. So we should try to stop this, so it can erase the peacemaking into the polluted. So by throwing that dead bodies into the water, how can they can get the peace, right? So these water are carried in the bottles and given to the friends and the relatives as a holy water. For example, river Ganga. So as we are thinking that this river Ganga is having the holy water, and when we are taking that water in a bottle as a holy water or as a sacred water, and some people are drinking that also, so that water is having lots of bacteria and viruses. Even when we are taking bath in that water, we may suffer from various skin infections because lots of parasites are also there. So it is very very dangerous to do that. And also we should not drink that water. Some people are what they are thinking, if they will spread that water in somebody's body, so that person will become pure. So let that misconcepts has been spread from one generation to the another generation. Now food habits. So in case of food habits, from last so many years we are not following the good food habits. Only the traditionally what we are taking, only that we are following. The diet of the people is insufficient by the local conditions, religious customs and beliefs. For example, wheat in the north area. Now, according to the area of our people, so the natural cuisine has been developed. Means for example, in the north India they are more prone to take wheats. In the south India these peoples are more like to eat rice. Rice is become the mandatory food in their life. In Muslim, if you see, they avoid porks, but they like maximum non-veg material, maximum flesh they are eating, in spite of vegetables. And in Hindu, they avoid the beef. Apart from beef, they can eat another non-veg materials, but they are mostly vegetarians. Vegetarian is the part of Hinduism. So the Hinduism is going to be proliferate, they're going to be initiate, they're going to be become the brand ambassador of the vegetarian. Now the government is also going to be initiate the vegetarianship into all the peoples. Food of hot and cold are prevalent in the country. Food generating heats. Now it has been concepts or misconceptions that we can see here. Now from the last so many years, the food generating heat, what they are assuming. For example, fish, meat, eggs and jaggeries, mostly the non-veg items, they are considering as a heat generating agents. Food cooling bodies, for example, milk, vegetables and the lemons. So these items are producing coolness into our body. So these concepts are encountered by the modern physician while treating the disease. Now from the so many years this has been thought, but in current scenario also some physicians, especially from the Ayurvedic medicine, they are accepting this. The adulteration of the milk, this becomes very headache. So adulteration, though we are taking the milk, but nobody can give the 100% chance, 100% guarantee that whatever milk we are taking, whether it is pure or not. Nowadays lots of adulteration has been done into the milk. Eating in the same plate to show the brotherhoodness, it is also sometimes we can see it is a good thing, but as far as the disease production or the hygieneness, it is not good for our health, because one person can spread the disease from to the another person when you are sharing the one plate. Ganja and bhang are common among the sadhus, but it is a very shame thing that even it is very common among the new generations. The college studying students, means teenagers also, they are taking these narcotics for their well-being. They becomes just addict, they becomes very addict for this, and due to which their life has been spoiled, especially in case of the North Indian peoples which are from the Punjab or Delhi or Haryana. It is very common among those young peoples. In some communities, wife eat after the husband in the same plate. It also become very tradition from last so many years. It is not good for their health, because whatever the food which has been remained, only that foods they will eat. And suppose if husband is having any disease, so it can be easily transferred towards the woman, and due to which it will arise a problem like malnutrition into the woman. Mother and child. Now if you see in mother and child, from last so many years we are not giving attention towards the mother, what they should eat, what foods are good for them, how we can take care of the childs. So that things need to be considered here. Now here, marriage is a universal in Indian society. Without marriage, if you are doing sexual intercourse, it is just unethical. Marriage is a incomplete without birth of the child in the Indian society. Now it becomes very dangerous. Suppose if any person have attained the age of marriage, so all the society, all the peoples are going behind him to do the marriage at any cost. Once the marriage has been solemnized, so the people are running behind that person to have a birth of child, and it is very very dangerous thing. So let them give chance, let them think regarding that things, let them plan. So why we are considering, why we are judgmenting them to have a child. On them, we cannot compel them. This is obvious implication in context of country's population problem. The cousins have both good and bad implications. Some cousins are good and some cousins are very bad. So good prolonged breastfeeding is a good cousin, means the fetus are getting sufficient food, they are getting the sufficient breastfeeding. It is very good things, because if we won't give that breastfeeding to the kids to the sufficient age, they will be malnourished. Oil bath, it is also good practice. Massage, exposure to the sunlight, it is also good, but not exposed too much to the sunlight. What are the bad things that we will discuss here? It differs from the society to the society. Some foods are forbidden during the pregnancy. Now, when the lady becomes pregnant, so lots of social burden will be her, what she should eat and what she should not eat. So due to which the things which are good for our health, so that is not taken by her, it has been forbidden. For example, she is not supplied with the fruits, she is not supplied with the various nutrients, various elements, various protein containing products. She is forced to take the oily foods, she is forced to take the unnecessarily the foods which are not good for our health, which are very heavy to digest. So they are not compelling her to give the good digestible foods to her. In rural places, deliveries are done by, still it is done by the untrained eyes, which also give rise to the that unhygienic condition to the that mother as well as to the fetus, and it will also give chances to develop the stillborn or to the problem into the delivery, or the fetus can be died during that delivery. So it gives that chances more. In some part of country, the child is not giving milk for the first days due to the colostrum. What is colostrum? Colostrum is the typical sort of milk which can be ejected from the breast of the female after the delivery, so that first 2-3 days whatever milk has been emerged from her breast, that milk is called as colostrum, and that milk is full with the all the immunity build up packages to the kids, to the at fetus. So it should be given to the fetus, but due to some myth in some village areas, to some rural areas, in some societies, it can be considered as a bad things, and due to which they are not supplying that milk to that fetus. Administration of opium and purgatives, it is also very bad habits. Why they are giving this? To keep that that kid, or that to keep that fetus calm and quiet, they are giving this opium. So it is very bad things, they are affecting on their brain, and also purgatives unnecessarily. The net result is infant mortality and the morbidity rates. So due to which lots of kids are losing their life below the age of 5 years, and it is also very bad for our society. Unimportant and the uncertain, that's why it is unimportant and the uncertain. Personal hygiene. Nowadays people are thinking regarding their personal hygiene, but from last so many decades the people are not still thinking regarding their personal hygiene. Only due to the government they have initiated into this, after that the people are thinking regarding their personal hygiene. Means government have to take step regarding their personal hygiene, then and then they will think regarding that. The Indians have immense sense of personal cleanliness intervene to their ritual purifications. Oral hygiene. Indians are very particular about the oral hygiene. In the rural area, people use neem trees, ash and charcoals. Bathing naked is prohibited in our India, apart from regular baths, Indian have special occasions baths, ceremony baths, and bathing is a rituals in India. Now in the India, bathing is becomes very common, but still in certain part of area, bathing they can avoid bathing due to the that winter or due to that cool environment. And what they are thinking, if they will sprinkle some Ganga Jal or get cured, so that type of myth is also there. Shaving, it can be done traditionally by the barbers countryside, and he do not sterilize the instruments. Smoking, smoking cigar is common among the farmer in the Andhra Pradesh, and which making them prone to for oral cancers. Pardas, Muslims and some high caste Hindu women, for example from the Jain community or from the Agrawal community or from the Rajasthani ladies, so they observe the pardas, and the incidence of TB is high among these observed pardas. Sleep, sleeping in the ground is countryside makes them prone to the insect bites. So still some people are sleeping on the floor, which is problematic for them. Wearing shoes, most South Indian villagers do not wear shoes. Barefoot is associated with the increased manifest of the hookworm, and also the snake bite can be occurs. Circumcision, these are the prevalent in Muslim and Jew communities. It has a religious sanction. Now here you can see the person is taking the neem stick to clean his mouth, to brush the teeth, and here the shaving has been done by the barber. This is the pardas. Sex and marriage. Marriage is considered to sacred in India. To do the sexual intercourse without marriage, it is unethical in India. It is usually conducted early because the late marriage may cause problem in the adjustment, especially in joint family. Due to the universality of marriage, there is no problem of married mother and illegitimate child. Mean age of marriage is 24 years. Nowadays it has been increased up to 27 to 28 years, and for women 21 years. Polygamy is found in certain societies. For example, in case of Muslims, according to the Shariat, they are allowed, the male should, they can allow with the 4 females. It is allowed according to the Shariat of the Muslims. Also from the Hindus Sanskriti, from the Hindus, the various the Rajas and Maharajas, so they were having several wives. But nowadays there is no Maharaja and there is no Raja. That's why now one man can join, or he can do marriage with only one woman. Now polyandry is found in the Nilgiris and the Jhansar Bhubar in UP. Now in UP some areas there where this polyandry is very common. What is polyandry? Polyandry is nothing but the when one female is sharing with several males. Means if there are 4 brothers, so the 4 brothers will marry with one female only. Means the whatever the land is there, what is their thinking, whatever land is there, it won't shared between the several females. Means whatever the land is there, only one or two the peoples are sharing that lands. Means in this fashion the polyandry is going to be allowed in those areas. Sexual customs vary from community to the community. For certain religion, menstruation is a period of uncleanliness, but it is a natural thing. So how can we think in that fashion? Also in some rituals or in some customs we are seeing that the girls or the women who are having menstruation, they are not allowed to enter into the kitchen. Means they cannot prepare food for their father-in-law or for their mother-in-law. When women are not allowed to pray due to the menstruation, they are thinking that these women are not sacred, not pure, they are impure, so they are not allowed to go into the temple also, so they can be banned only that they are women. So this is very very bad thing. So only due to the sex we cannot ban any person. It is very orthodox thinking. When the women are not allowed to pray and have a intercourse, and due to which for these 7 days some people are thinking that to have the intercourse it will produce a sin. It is very third class thing. So it is the decision of the couple. They will think when they have to do intercourse and when they don't have to do. So society don't have to do interfere into the personal life of others. So the Orthodox Jew do not have sex for the 7 days. Now menstruation, this bears importance in family planning. Now here you can see these are the photographs of the solemnization according to the various customs, according to the Hindu Sanskriti, from the Christian, from the South Indian, these are from the Muslim community. So these are the various customs they are following for the solemnization of the marriage. Thanks a lot for hearing my lecture. Now if you have any queries, you can give your comments. Thanks a lot for hearing this lecture.